So
remember now. So good
how are you?
evening.
Good evening,
I'm
Jazz. How
good.
are you?
I'm good. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've had such a wild weekend, you know.
I
So
can imagine.
so right now I am just rehydrating myself.
No,
And why are you waving me?
because I felt like it. I'm just
Okay, so
testing
yeah.
stuff out.
Um, okay, that's cool. So I'm rehydrating myself and
Right?
trying to get back my moisture inside of me because I overdo it this weekend.
Hi,
What about
Didi.
you?
Well, I had a nice, quiet little weekend. It's weekend, and it's weekend. Yeah, because it is Sunday. Shoot. See, this is
Today's
what happened when you lost track of the time. But it has been quiet for me, and
uh-huh.
basically, just having a nice cool day. Hey, Lucky, what's up?
Hey Didi. Hi everyone. Hi. So,
So
Bam,
welcome.
I don't know if you were hearing the video while I was waiting for you to come on, but I was playing I was just watching this video that has been circulating with Jada and Will. That whole
Right.
that whole scenario that played out in their relationship that is now of public scrutiny,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And honestly, I felt as though like some of the things that was being said and some of the things that were being exposed was worthy of be talking about it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not directly addressing their problems per se, you know, but more or less using their scenario as a stepping stool into our second episode of season 2, which is, you know, analyzing cheating in relationships, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we would have started with first impressions, and that would have, taught persons how to give off good and first impressions by the things that they do and the way
Right.
that they present themselves physically, you know.
Right.
And this week, as all of this drama was unfolding, it was important that we jumped on it and kind of gave our little 2 cents on it. I would have discussed some of it with you, some of it with you before. So, it's just a matter of, kind of, I want to hear what you think some more when it relates to this scenario and what it relates to cheating in relationships. And when I say cheating, analyzing basically the effects of it, because that is what we are now being privy to. That's going on in their life. The effects of what happened or what a couple of years ago, not a couple, but a few years ago with them, you know. Are you hearing me properly, Val?
I am.
You see me properly as well?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was having an experience in a little drop in Wi-Fi or something.
I think you just stuck a little bit. That's all. Your internet.
Okay, all right, cool. So, yeah, so I was playing the video. I know you would have
Rachel.
seen the video as well. And just to
Mm-hmm.
give persons a synopsis of what this scenario is with Will and Jada that we are just using as our example for this topic is basically, a few years ago, Will and Jada would have come to an agreement in their relationship to have an amicable separation. That word always gets me anyway. Amicable separation. And during that time of their separation, Jada would have gotten entangled with a young man called August Alsina. He's a singer, and apparently, I don't know if anybody would have known about him and his career, but he was suffering from addiction to Percocet and I guess some other drugs or whatever. And Jada took a liking to him, or Jada took him under her wing in terms of going through his healing process. And as she put it, helping her go through her healing process with her issues in her relationship. And one thing that's another, they got entangled, or they got into a relationship. And now, about 4 years later, it is now being exposed, because I guess, all the talk that Will and Jada are having now about being life partners, as opposed to married, or as opposed to considering themselves as married partners, like husband and wife. They prefer the term life partners. And I guess it's just their way of adjusting to what happened or what transpired in their relationship. And now it makes me wonder, like, when cheating or infidelity happens in a relationship, the outcomes of it. Could there be bad outcomes? What are these outcomes, and how exactly is it that you can view the situation? Like, how could you look at the situation to kind of pull the best out of it, or make the decision whether both of you should walk away from each other? So what are your thoughts on a scenario that you would have seen played out?
All right, so before I get into it, let me just say good night to each and every one of you who are on the live now. Welcome to Girl Talk with Jazz and Bambi. And today we're discussing, or we're analyzing cheating in relationships, because as we all know, they Jada and Will. So we're more or less, using that scenario situation to discuss this. So hi Jewel, thanks for coming on and joining. So my thoughts on cheating, or analyzing if there are good and because we all know there are bad tips, right? Is that feedback on my side or yours?
Yours, because I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, because we all know that the majority of persons, the majority of persons see this as a bad thing. Not too many people are willing to look into it and see if there are any good, or if any good can come from a situation as cheating. Now, please understand that we are not saying that cheating is condoned or should be something to do, because at the end of the day, it is wrong, regardless of how it happened, what caused it to happen. It is still wrong, right? However, my thoughts on it is basically, I think, seeing Jada and Will, operate in the manner that they do, that good can come from it. It can cause now partners to be more aware of each other. It can cause one to seek more interest, in terms of learning and understanding, because as we age or as we grow and get older, what happens is our perspective on life changes a lot. Sometimes when we were teenagers, we had an outlook on life, and we thought that this is what we wanted life to be. But when we reach 20-something, and we reach 30-something, and as we get older, we tend to now look at things differently and see things differently. We tend to want things differently now. So the things that Jada and Will may have wanted when we probably now met would have worked for them then. But as they aged and they grow old together in their relationship, they started to realize that there are certain things that they were lacking or not getting from one another in that sense. So because the issue is, cheating happened, Will is now more aware, how to pay more attention to his wife, because sometimes these celebrities, and not just celebrities, but people on the whole, get caught up in their everyday life. that they tend to take their relationship and their partner for granted. And when these things happen, you ask yourself, well, why did it lead? Because there's always a why did it lead to here in the first place, yeah? And
Mm-hmm.
even though most people see it, as something extremely bad, and the end case scenario is we done. I want nothing to do with you again, right? In this case scenario, you see that he actually wanted his wife, they decided to, because at one point they would have felt, because their natural human nature would have made them feel like, I don't want you again because I can't do this again, or whatever the case may be. But in the video, and I didn't get to see the full length of it. So what the little clip that I saw, at least it showed that, they were willing to still accept each other as husband and wife still, and understand that, when life presents its test, that it takes some going through the fire to come out, as fine gold in the end. So that's just a little thing. I don't know if you have any more that you want to ask or share.
Okay. Um, I agree with you when it started off, with respect to not condoning cheating. I think that first of all, that is something, it is really difficult to come back trust wise, to build back that trust when it is infidelity is involved, because someone is depending on you to basically be their one and only. And when it is that you involve a third party into the scenario, you never know what that third party, what bad spurs that third party is bringing into your relationship. And that feeling of betrayal is something that, a lot of people, and I think for myself as well, would be really, it would be really hard to get over and to get past. Um, what I when I looked at the scenario that played out with Will and Jada, is a couple of things, and this is how I felt about it. So this is my opinion, right, Bam?
Mm-hmm.
One, I think the fact of their career and the persona, the public persona that they have to maintain, is is why they would have made a lot of decisions that they would have made in terms of reconciling and staying together. I guess in another scenario, with someone who is not, popular and do not come across as role models, their decision would be different, and it could be different. They can choose, the possibility of choosing to separate is much greater. Um, so for them, I think that was one of their deciding factors. The fact that, they are role models. Their marriage is a role model marriage. So that's one of the things that they kind of had to keep it together. But when I was looking at the video, I looked at the fact that, first of all, this happened many years ago. So, but it's now coming out. So I guess they would have had, that 3 or 2 years span in the middle there to kind of try and work it out. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was reading an article where Jada was saying that this COVID period was so hard because I guess it's the first time that she and Will was forced to stay in the same environment for so long, and
Right.
it caused them to become friends, and I guess it caused or helped the healing process. So all those things are, I guess, very important when it comes to moving forward with cheating. Now, the bad thing is that it takes so much work. When it is someone cheats in a relationship, it takes so much work to get back to a point that you started at. Trust wise, it takes the fact that you don't know if it is that you can talk to this person anymore, if you all share the same interests, if it is that you all could even be friends and have that type of closeness as before. That is something that you have to work on, and not everybody is prepared to work on it and spend that type of time that it's going to take in order for you to get over certain things like this. And I forgot the train of thought that I was going with, but basically, the when he said to her that if it is they didn't go through this, he would have never known how much she had his back, or she would not have known how much he had her back, because of the fact that they went through the fire, they went through the volcano, who was scorched in lava and all these different things, and who was exposed for being the worst, and then
Right.
you come out of it. So I think now, because of a scenario of infidelity, their relationship or their friendship, whichever they choose to work on more, um, is going to be stronger than ever and stronger than most. So I think when it comes to looking at cheating, if it has its pros and its cons, a lot of people saying no, there's no pro to cheating because cheating is bad, but there are pros to cheating. I mean, that sounds so bad, Emma. I'm not even gonna lie, that sounds bad. But there are pros to cheating. Real talk, there are. And you know, I'm not even gonna talk about the scenario as to why somebody gets there, but whatever caused the person to get to the point of cheating, I guess it's something worth addressing. For women, it may be the fact that their needs are not being met, and those needs which we spoke about in an earlier episode, which were women need security, attention, and affection. And if it is that they're not getting these three things, you find that their natural self is to go and find these things. And if somebody else is providing it, they will fall into that trap of getting it, right? Not saying that is right, but they will fall into that trap. We're only human, and these are the things that unfortunately do happen. For men, their basic needs are respect, honor, and sex. And a lot of women tend to neglect their men in these areas. A lot of times they don't respect their men, and they might belittle them, talk down to them in a lot of scenarios, make them feel less than who they are. And then we have the whole issue of sex. Women going through different periods of their life whereby their sex drive is low, and their desire for their male, or even their physical attraction to their partner has gone, and they just ignore these things, and that causes the man to fall into that trap. So when it is that you are now cheated on, it's a kind of eye opener. I find it's an eye opener. It's not something that I would condone, but it's an eye opener, and it's something that makes you know, if you are a mature person, you would actually sit down and try to rectify it with your partner, and actually talk about it and say, hey, why did you do what you did? Like, what was the problem? What was I not providing you with? If it is now you realize that I have been giving you basically all the needs that you need, the basic needs that was outlined in the Bible, and then some, and you just a nympho, you just a freak, and you just want to do your thing, but then that cheating is not, it's unforgivable. Well, nothing is unforgivable, but it's unforgivable in my books, and then you can decide to part ways. But other than that, I think it's an opportunity for people to do some self-awareness and do some awareness of their relationship, and try to have some communication, Yeah.
You said something about unforgivable. I can't say that I agree there with you. I think me personally now, being who I am now, probably, the Bambi back then would have said unforgivable. I'm not no and be that type of way. But if I put, like, what I tend to do or try to do these days, is tend to put myself in this situation. If
Mm-hmm.
I were in this situation, and I was the one that wronged my partner, is it that I would want that forgiveness? because they are in a position where they would want that forgiveness. And it's not, we're not talking about, like, okay, we're not going to depth, right? Because this is a very deep topic that we could go all over the place with. But we'll just scratch the surfaces a bit, right? And sometimes when it is that you're not, like, for the woman, you're not getting the what you need. And men, don't get me wrong, there are things that men need as well that they don't get. And sex is one of those things. Is a major factor for a man. And as being his partner, you ought to really serve in that way. And sometimes we women could get a bit lackadaisical or lazy in that sense, where that is concerned, and say, well, I'm tired, or whatever. And then we want to know, well, okay, well, why he would cheat. Because studies would have shown that men and women cheat on the same levels, right? Long time it would have been the man and them is the one who cheating, and the woman not cheating as much as the men, because the woman would think. But studies have shown that women and men do cheat on the same level. There is not one more than the other. And also they say the reasons they cheat, they did it on a broad perspective, where the men and women are concerned, is that lack of love from their partner, right? And this goes to both men and women. A desire for sexual variety, is another thing. And situational factors, for instance, when it comes to going into a relationship with a man or a woman, right? I'm talking on the both basis now. And you tell yourself, well, this person seems to be a good one or whatever. But getting into a relationship with them now, you realize that, okay, they're controlling. They don't give you the time of day. So your emotional needs, or your emotional needs are not met. They are emotionally unavailable to you. And this is more so, we would tell ourselves, it's more so the woman would feel this way. But there are men that they want that connection from their woman too. And at the end of the day, we owe it to our partners, if we truly love them, to have conversations and communicate well in that way, where we understand as we age and we see things differently, our views on life changes. We ought to sit and chat rather than, and the thing is, sometimes these things are done and a partner is not willing to go the extra mile, because in their minds or in their eyes, they're not seeing anything wrong.
Exactly.
Right? And sometimes you cannot help that situation, because well, you can't make anybody do anything that they don't want to do, right? But what I'm saying is, I believe that if you love someone genuinely, you would make that extra effort, even though that error that they made, that mistake they made in terms of cheating, hurt you. You are human. You will feel hurt. You would feel to curse. You would feel all the feelings in the book. However, you ought to be open to that person and willing to forgive them. Because I heard you mentioned biblical stuff just a little while ago, right? And if we really think about it, where God made us in our natural self, and we disappoint Him all the time. There are things that we do that we tell ourselves may not be a big deal, but God is disappointed at the end of the day. Does He throw us in the fire and say, well, I'm done with you and I'm not forgiving you and da 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 da? He don't get on. So he's more outstretching the hands and saying, hey, come, let me pick you up. I understand why it is you're in this position that you're on now. I understand why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Let me help you. But sometimes we feel so dirty and so undeserving of His love that we're just more or less like, nah, God must want to, throw me in the hellfire, whatever. And that's not necessarily true, And I think if we want to have the heart, a heart like Him, we ought to forgive. Yes, it hurts us. The most it hurts us. It puts us in a way. I mean, as I say, we're humans, and it's natural for us to feel some type of way. It's even natural for us to get vexed about it, But in that vexation, where is your love towards this person now? you know do you truly, this is where you see now, okay, I am willing, to go further with you. Yes, this is a process for me. Yes, it's going to be harder, and I may not be able to trust you as easily again, but I am still willing to go through a process with you because I love you. And I think
Right,
once
but
we, uh-huh, ow.
the when I mentioned on the unforgivable act, it was towards that person who had no reason for cheating on you. For example, like me, if it is you, as I said, all the needs that are being met. I'm giving you respect. I'm respecting you. We went through the whole love languages test, and I found out what your love language is. And let's say your love language is acts of service or quality time, even though minds may not be the same. And I went through that whole process of trying to give you love the way you understand, which is through your love language. So I spend quality time with you, or I do things for you and with you. um I give you give you sex on a regular basis as much as we can, because given our daily activities and our busy lifestyles. And so respect is met, the sex is met, the honoring the relationship is met. And I'm looking more in terms of marriage here, right? Or persons looking to get into that position, very serious or committed relationships. And all these things are met. And you are just naturally like, I don't care, I don't give an F. I just want to live in a I man carry settle. I just want to do that is the scenario I was talking about, it being unforgivable, because that is a natural show of no respect to you. So in that scenario is where I talk about, it is unforgivable. Now when I say unforgivable, I don't mean in the eyes of God. I don't mean like I am never going to forgive you for your act. I will forgive you for your act, but in terms of the relationship, forgiving the relationship to mend, I don't think it's worth it. In that case, I don't see any much positives coming from it until that person has come to a space of growth, self-growth and spiritual growth. They have to undergo their own development, and this is something that a lot of people do not understand. When it is you practice things like cheating in a relationship, there is a level of development, self-awareness that you have to go through with yourself to understand, why did I do this? Is it that I do not feel a certain way towards my relationship? Is it that I don't want to work on it? Is it that I don't want to be in that position? And I listened to Jada with this scenario, and it's not that I agree with her what she did or disagree with what she did, right? Because they are both, I listened to both sides, and I realized that both persons had parts to play in this entire thing that would have happened between in their relationship. Sorry.
And listen, don't mean to cut you, but
yeah,
when it comes to cheating, right, there's always a part to play on both ends.
Yeah.
Listen, and the thing is, we're not talking about those persons who just cheat as a hobby. Ooh, I out here taking man and woman. No, we're not talking about them people. We're talking about people who value relationships, and life is happening, and because life is happening and you're faced now with work and whatever, it may not have been, it will, the fact is, it is not going to be the same. If you were able to micromanage 10 things at 20, when you reach at 30, you have 10 more things added on to that list. So to be able to micromanage those things, sometimes it's very difficult, and what happens is, most of the times your relationship is suffering because of it, and there's always when it comes to cheating, there's always the question to ask. Where did we go wrong? Not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
you and know. Where did we go wrong? Because there's one, a breakdown in communication. And if we're not communicating, how am I supposed to know? Men are not mind readers, so we need to communicate as ladies to them and vice versa, right? And I think once that interjected in that sense, it would be handled better, and the outcome going forward will be, one to please both parties. So,
Mm-hmm.
hi Lennox.
Okay. Yes. I mean, yeah, I agree with you because I think my whole reasoning for wanting to talk to you about this scenario was to see your view as to if you think there is a benefit towards cheating.
I do believe. Listen, don't don't take this out of context, guys, because people could easily misunderstand what you say and run with it and say Bambi say to cheat because it have good stuff in this thing. No,
Exactly.
understand where I'm coming from. If your relationship is at a point that it's suffering and you have had the experience of being cheated upon, right? Please note to self, it is your decision if you want to move forward with this person or not. At the end of the day,
Right.
that is your decision to make, right?
Exactly.
However, what I would love to tell people out there that are facing this situation, because there are many people facing this situation, because apparently cheating is the norms, is that when you decide to move forward with the person that you claim to love, please, I understand that you may feel hurt. I understand that it's something of mistrust. I understand that you would want to probably be or feel revengeful at some point. But please, when you're moving forward, try and move forward in a healthy manner. And the person that cheats has to be very open, has to be an open book. You're trying to build back trust. And if you're trying to
Exactly.
build back trust, trust is earned and it's not necessarily happening just like that. When that barrier is broken, you need to rebuild. And rebuilding simply means, yeah, your phone has to be no lock, no password thing. Your
Mm-hmm.
emails have
Mm-hmm.
to be open. Your everything has to be open. You have to be transparent with your partner now, so that they now see, hey, all right, he or she made a mistake, and I can see now that they are trying to be a bit different, and that now in itself will help that person feel differently
Back up.
towards you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
It may take
Yeah.
some time. It may take some time because we are not God, and God he's very forgiving like that, and he ready to, well, all right, if it is a forgetfulness thing,
Mm-hmm.
but we're human. So I am telling you, I will take longer than the Lord to say, hey, yo, thing. You understand? You look like I could trust you again, But the
Exactly.
process is that I'm not going to remind you over and over and over and over and over again, because that is not healthy. And to be honest, Jazz, I would have seen some, friends of mine who would have gone through situations and scenarios like this, where their
Me too.
partner who claimed to love them keeps throwing that back up in their face. And to me, that makes no sense. I mean, I
Well
understand
done.
that you're hurting. And if you want to scream and shout initially in the stage of finding out, you can do all of that. You can do all of that. But you see, when you say, I forgive you, I not forget, I ain't forget it, because we love to say that. I forgive you, I know, but I ain't forget. And as soon as the opportunity arises where we fall out, but remember when you did, yeah,
Exactly.
you did do this, and you did know, like, but I thought we moving forward. I thought
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
forgive me or whatever. And I think genuinely, if you forgive someone, for that act, you don't throw it back in their face constantly. That is just a reminder of the hurt. They know they hurt, they don't need to be reminded that they did that. They knew because they are adults.
You
They
know,
knew for a
that
fact
is the.
what they were doing. Like Jada said, it was her decision to make. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
will, it wasn't a permission something. It was her when she looked at August and said, ah boy, we going to do this thing. That was her decision to say, yes, my leg will not open for this man today, today. That was her
She
decision to
was.
make. You
Okay, I was in the
understand?
room, so I don't know what she said. Let me not behave myself.
But I mean, we could just, animate it a bit. But hey,
Yes.
the reality is that you always know what you're going to do. It doesn't anything in life, any decision that you're going to make, you as the individual know, yes, I'm going to do this, or no, I'm not going to do that. You always know. So I mean, nobody is saying that okay, um you will always do it, because a lot of people have it to say that once a cheater is always a cheater. But I think in
No,
Will
that's
and
not true.
Jada's case, that is not true. In Will and Jada's
Yeah.
case, they are people that always do self evaluations in that sense. They are constantly checking to see if, because as you say, they are role models. People look up to them. Their relationship is a relationship that, well, now people's views might be different because, hey, but what I want to tell people out there is that don't forget that these people are human beings. Yes, they might
Exactly.
be stars. Yes, they might be, but they are faced with the same issues as we. We may not be popular on the map, and not because it's Will Smith and Jada and they're acting on whatever means to say that it's cutthroat, bust up the neck and well fair,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's what people tend to do. When you
Mm-hmm.
you you get popular, people tend to forget you're human and that you
Mm-hmm.
can make mistake just as they are. And not because that your mistakes are not viewed openly means to say that well, hey, you're better than me. And a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have that concept, and I just want to just have it there to say that if you're moving forward with the person that cheated on you, please do it in a healthy manner. Don't be rubbing it in the person's face. They know what they have done to you. And I think if they want to move forward with you, or you all have had that conversation, move in a healthier manner.
No, the thing is, Bam, is like I mean, as you said before, this topic have so many layers to it.
Yes, it
And
does.
and I feel so many different ways towards it. And the reason why is because, you know, you have to put yourself in the receiving end, and you have to put yourself on the you are the cheater, right? So
Hi,
you are the cheater
Jedediah.
and you are the cheater and you are the receiver. And as the receiver, I think the cheater must understand that a certain amount of time must be given to that
Yes.
person in
Yes.
order to allow them to be like, hey, for it to
Yes.
come out of the picture.
Yes.
Um, yes, you might be like, okay, yes, I forgive you. But in terms of I forgive you, I do forgive you enough to let us move forward now. But the cheater must give the person time to get over. And also, as you rightfully said, you see
Mm-hmm.
the repetition of the past is the most annoying thing, and I
It
think that
is.
is a very big destructor of
Yes.
relationship,
Yes.
because
Yes.
not being able to let someone past be their past and let their
Yes.
future be their future is the
Mm-hmm.
most annoying thing. And for those persons who are continuously doing that to their partner, I think you need to do your self evaluation and realize you probably should leave the relationship if it is that you cannot get over it. And
Exactly.
especially
Exactly.
after finding out the reason for it. And that is the main thing as to why you have to have that openness and that communication as to the reasons. Because
Yes.
if it was a frivolous reason, as for you just was feeling hot, or you drink alcohol some night and you went and you was liming with whoever, and you drink
Mm-hmm.
too much and you end up in a situation, honestly, I mean, yes, all scenarios can be forgiven, but I think that is a level of irresponsibility. When I want to use the word, that is a level of being irresponsible that would take much, much, much more time to get
Mm-hmm.
over, as compared
Yes.
to something that we in a relationship, the relationship was lacking. So my first thing, if ever you were cheated on, my first thing would be to tell you, to definitely do self-evaluation, self-awareness, and trying to figure out what it is that you believe that you did not bring to the relationship.
Yeah.
It's not a time for you to bring on yourself as well, because I think so much things has happened, and I think this why cheating is so nasty, eh? Because a lot of people, their self-esteem is jacked up when they're cheating on. And now this person know how to build back up your self-esteem. But then when you think about it, who's really responsible of building your self-esteem? Not you, yourself.
You are. You are.
You know, so
You
it's
think?
like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's a whole bunch of craziness when it comes to cheating. So
It
first
it
of all,
is. It is.
I mean, I would say, try to avoid it as much as you can. But when
Yeah.
actually, if it happens, which it happens a lot, it's more of the norm in relationships than anything else
That's the
in this day
reality.
and age. And I shouldn't even say in this day and age, in all of time, it is it's the main thing that destroys relationships. But
Yeah.
I do think that it can be overcome. And I do
Yes.
think that there can be light at the end of that tunnel once it is both persons are mature. Maturity plays a very big part in this whole thing, and also, your spiritual growth. Because I was reading an article about, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what the article said with respect to the pros and cons towards cheating, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you have a couple that is married, let's say Will and Jada, and she is missing certain things. Let's say Will is working a lot overseas and he's barely home. So that basic need of attention and affection, she is not getting it, right? So, and then he also is, because he's working, he's not getting sex, and he doesn't have that woman, is the presence of the woman there to, for that honor and that, that attention and affection he also desires.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have this little itch he wants to scratch. So when you think about it, I have this itch to scratch. I know I cannot come to my wife and say, well, here this now, babe. I'm working for 6 months over here. I'm working for a year. We working on this year long movie. We working for a year. Let me a little hall pass now. I need a little something. Let me hook up with somebody. How crazy is that for him to come and now say that to Jada? That is craziness. So
Huh.
obviously, the opportunity for him to now get into cheating, I think those things is what this is what makes cheating, or this is what makes cheating bad. The fact that, is not able to tell her, because obviously his marriage might end. And we all know that if it is that we come to, if it is that we have the thought of sleeping with somebody else while being married, they'll say the best thing to do is look for a divorce. And we don't want a divorce. Why do I want a divorce? I'm coming back to you after a year, but I need sex. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as the woman, what is she supposed to do?
I think
What is he supposed to do?
hmm, firstly, like, okay, Jazz, when you and I are having these discussions or these talks, it all boils back down to the reality of the situation, eh? And when we're having these discussions, what has come to my mind is, had we been taught what we know now back then, everybody's lives would have been so much different, when it comes to relationships.
Uh-huh.
Because I think persons who are single now, you are at an advantage, and I say that because of where I'm going with this, right? Seeing what's going on in the world, and hearing, and just viewing things on the whole, right, may change your outlook on having a relationship for the long haul of it, which results in marriage, right? A lot of people afraid marriage because they tell themselves, "Oh God, no. If it is that I'm gonna get on, it's better get single. I don't have to get married to do this, to get this." And I think what happens is, if the single persons who are out here, if you ask yourself, because the reality is we are humans, if you ask yourself going forward into a relationship with someone, what if this person cheats on me? What would I do? What would be my next move or my reaction? right? Kind of be proactive to the situation rather than reactive. Like, try to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, put, say, okay, would I love them enough to forgive them? Or is cheating for me entirely just, that's it? I don't want to hear, I don't want to see, I don't want to know, I don't care. That's it. Once they say the word cheating, we're done. And these are the questions you need to ask yourself before you go into relationships head on with people. People just out here for a fun time and a good time, but there are people that want commitment. There are people that want that. And the reality is, yes, even though you may not commit the act, your partner could. You know, what would you do then? So know the dynamics of your relationship, what you would like it to be before you commit to something that when you do commit now, you have to draw back. And in this situation, with having a husband who works overseas, you supposed to know this. Unless it happened in the relationship where he get this job, you now would, if you have to make a decision, because like I would say, we would know what somebody like and dislike, right? If I'm getting to know you and you tell me that you like overseas thing, so possibly in my mind, if an overseas opportunity come to you, you're gonna take it. I'm at the position where I'm your wife now, and this happens, and I know I don't like that because I can't do without you. I need my sex. And boom, now you go on and you go on your way. What am I to do in that position? Obviously, it's going to lead to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It will lead. So before it leads there, the man like engineering or shorting, whatever. You as the woman, be real and open with yourself. Can I commit to this long haul of it? Can
Mm-hmm.
I say yes to this situation? Will my views change when I'm 40, when I'm 50 towards this? Because I'm feeling now because I like the person and whatever. But we
Mm-hmm.
just only think for now. We don't think for 5
Exactly.
years and 10 years down the road. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
and then when that comes and happen, we have children. So people staying with the children for the children's sake now. People staying for all different types of reasons and just, and the thing is, they're being hurt. They're hurt in the process. But you're setting up yourself before you even, you know, commit.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think single people out here, ask, you're in a better place and position where you can say, hey, ask, put your cards out on the table. Stop fooling yourself. Learn who you
Exactly.
are. Learn who you are as an individual. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What you would tolerate and what you won't tolerate, right? And that's just for now. When life goes on, yes, okay, if those views has changed, you may have a little bit more understanding to something. But be real with yourself and don't just jump into a relationship because your kitty scratching or your piggy leaks feeling some type of way. No, be real with yourself. Say, listen, I owe it to this person to be real and tell them, girl, I love this. I love offshore work, and if I get you think you could deal with me. I know for me personally,
Yeah, yeah.
when I was before I married my husband, he wasn't no offshore man. Or he wasn't a man that working 6 months away in the next
Anywhere else.
country,
Yeah.
or whatever. Because I can't deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that. If that happens now, I watch him say, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where you going? No, don't go nowhere. It's best we get the divorce papers. you know, because I don't want to, put myself in a position where, I get in
I'm
trouble.
possibly cheating on you. Yeah, yeah.
That
But I
no,
mean, and that is right. You're absolutely right when it comes to the fact that as single people, we don't think about those things.
we
And
don't.
and really and truly, if we did, I think there would be less occurrences of cheating in a relationship because people would get more of what they wanted. And
Yes.
also not only that, but you see, and sticking to what you believe. That is another thing. Because, for example, I might be the person that says, you know what, I have hard limits and I have soft limits. So my soft limits would be if the person cheats on me because I wasn't giving them what they needed, and the person cheats on me, I would be more forgiving. But if it is he just horny and want to go all over the place and whatever, and cheats on me, that is my hard limit. And then you have persons who tell themselves these things, but then allow the noise, the external noises change the view that they had. So now you have your friend or even society telling you that,
hi Joshua,
that's telling you that, hey, regardless of what, you're not supposed to accept it, you know. And I think this is the scenario or the position that Will and Jada is in right now, because they have their how they're gonna deal with it, and they've decided to deal with it privately, and they've decided to work on it privately. But as Will said, Black Twitter is now calling them out.
Yes.
So now everybody now is now like, hey, talk.
Yes.
You see, this is wrong. Jada is like this and Jada is like that. Whereas in Will's mind, Will don't forgive Jada because she probably already discussed to him what he's now allowed to do and where they're gonna go, and now they're talking about open relationship and they're talking about you do your thing and I do my thing. Now he's like partners and all that. They already fixed the business, you know. But now you have the naysayers from the outside now trying to put in their 2 cents and put in their 10 cents to make the scenario more difficult than it needs to be.
Exactly.
You know? And that is what happens with a lot of people. And I think that persons need to be committed to their decisions. So if it is that I tell myself, or I even tell my spouse, that listen to me, if you eventually get a job away, we need to organize life in such a way that I have to go with you.
Exactly.
Or, I have to go with you. Then, and we make that arrangement. You can't now come when I get a job and then now change that whole scenario because your friend now said it was spend your ears. Why should I go with you? What kind of stick up thing is that? What kind of, you know? So people need to stick to their decisions, and when they're single, they need to definitely, as you said, think about these things.
Think about it. Have a different approach.
Go through that period of singleness where you definitely get to know yourself and get to know what you want and get to know what you want in a relationship, so that when it is you meet that person. And I also find it is okay that when you meet somebody new to tell them these things.
It is. You see, I was having this conversation with another friend, Jazz Gill, and I was saying that, listen, a lot of people just need to have a different approach to how they brace relationships. You know, that old approach where I trying to impress him or trying to impress her. Listen, we had time for all this impress thing. My cards are, I like this, I like that. Know yourself. And I feel the problem is a lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know, and because they don't know who they are, they end up in problems. We could swing, so no problem, because we're trying to impress, right? Nothing is wrong with wanting to impress somebody that you meet for the first time, because we would have talked about first impressions, right? However, lay a part on the table to listen. My love language, if people, I mean, come on, we are in technology age. You can't tell me if you ain't hear about this love language thing yet. Then go and Google it tonight. Go and Google it tonight. What is love language? And get to know what is yours, right? And when you know that, going forward as a single person, say, listen, my love language is acts of services. I love when people do things for me. More so, my boo. So if it is that that person now, give people the chance to be able to say, yes, I can deal with this, or no, I can't deal with this. Stop wasting time. How much time of your life are you going to waste on deciding, well, it's okay. No.
Exactly.
And then you finish your vex. That making any sense? And you finish out, you're blowing up. So you ain't love me, you see. But no, you wasn't real with your own self, so you wasn't real with the person. You know, and that's what's happening now. Single people have a new approach to how you enter relationships. Ask yourself questions. The way you date, fix that. That old approach needs to be fixed. In this day and age, a lot of things are changing, and because of that, you need to be up with the times. Be true to yourself, be genuine with how you feel and what you feel, and don't, if you know that you don't like something, don't say, well, no,
Okay,
you
trying to be
don't like
cute.
it, you don't like it, you don't like it, you don't like it, you don't like it. That person
Exactly.
would say, well, all right, I could respect this person for that, or next. Simple, simple, and
Exactly.
I think people, if they have that approach now, you would cause now less hurts in the relationship, because life in itself will present big obstacles. Don't get me wrong, life will present it, but at least the little trivial things, or the stuff that you're taking for granted now, that will already be out the door in that sense, and you won't have to go
That
through
is,
that
yeah,
again. You would
yeah.
save yourself that unnecessary sort of quarrel or disagreement in that sense. So
And that is, and the thing is, I mean, that happened with me. Like, with respect to my relationship, you when my boyfriend and I started dating, he would have done that. He would have, dished it out and
right,
said up front what he liked and what he didn't like. And
right,
I'm being honest with you, Bam. I was taken aback at first because I was at that point, I guess, before, whereby, when you meet somebody, you have to present your best self.
yeah,
And
right.
so there are certain things that you would say, and there's certain things that you just won't say,
One
and there's
say,
certain
right.
things that you would leave for the third date, or certain things you leave for the when you're in a relationship and whatever.
The old
And that
approach.
was that was yeah, that was my mindset.
Yeah.
And he came and he like dished it out like boom, yeah. I was like,
You don't have to
and
get turned off one time, like, what?
exactly, like, why you saying, but you don't like that, and you don't like this, and you can't do that, and I like this, and he did that up front. I'm not even gonna lie, he did that up front. And after a while, what happened was, because I think I was interested in him, I started to think about these things. I sat down in my own time and I thought about these things that he liked and he didn't like, and what he, whatever. And then
Right.
I started to kind of appreciate it, because I was like, well, look how I know this so early,
Yes.
It's now up to me to make the decision whether I could take it or not.
Thank you.
And I think I appreciated the fact that he trusted me with the information and said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I
Mm-hmm.
basically laid my cards on the table. It's up to
Mm-hmm.
you if you want to play that hand or not. And
Exactly.
and then I now made the decision that, hey, okay, well, I will play the hand. These are
Right.
my cards I'm gonna put on the table, and he
Right.
could choose whether he wants to play it or not. And
Right.
we got that uncomfortableness off the table
Table.
in the
Yeah.
early.
In the
So now
earliest.
it's just a matter of growing together and now not doing the things he doesn't like, and whatever the case may be, and
Yes.
moving on now.
Yes.
As compared to now be having the idea that I had before, which is, when we go on our 10th date, he will now
Date.
find out that,
Then you will. Yeah.
and then and
No.
then he would have invested, and at that time, because he's the kind of person that
So
he does,
much.
he takes relationships as an investment, which you should. And
Yes.
at the 10th date, he would have invested this amount of time, and then he would have
Right.
invested this amount of finances, or he would have invested this amount of whatever he'd invested, emotions. And then next
Mm-hmm.
thing, on the 10th date, I come to him and be like, well, I don't like that. And he's like, so you can tell me this
All
on
the
his
time.
first date? So I can
Exactly.
leave your ass.
Yeah.
So this is something that I think people now need to use as their tools in terms of dating.
Definitely.
And don't look at it as a bad thing that somebody's being open with you, No, I'm not saying just be, I mean, you know what to share and what not to share. Come on, we know what to share, but
Listen,
you like
the thing
share.
is, be your authentic self, right? Be real with the person, and being real doesn't mean, well, I like my panty some type of way. You don't need to know that information. You don't need to know that when you're seeing your period is where bingo bags. You can know that after. But
You need to know that. You
your
need to know
traits.
that.
Yeah, no,
The
of
reason
course.
why.
I'm
Now
thinking
you
he's
need to know
listen. I'm
that.
thinking he speculates already because one man already know that a woman will wear a bingo bag for a period. Like, come on, really? You wear no tongues. The part has to fit.
I know they expect it to be sexy all the time, man. Believe me.
Listen, I will
Believe
be
you me.
sexy with my whole bingo bag and a short jersey. Just appreciate the fact that I have on a bingos. That's all I say.
Exactly.
You know, but
I,
I mean, I love it when people are their authentic selves, you know.
yeah.
You say, listen, this is what I like. You're not going to listen. If you have 10 traits that you don't like, say 5.
Mm.
You're trying first impressions. We have had that discussion last week. First impressions still counts, right? Because you have
You know what
to
I think
make
it
a good
is?
first impression, but
You know
be
what?
true.
You know
You
what I
know
think it is, ma'am? I think
what
it's
it
a lot of people don't like themselves. So
must
it's
had to
no, so
be.
it's very difficult to advertise something you don't like, you know. So if it is I don't like my body, how am I gonna advertise it in the best way possible to make you like it? If it is I don't like certain personality traits of mine, how am I
Right,
going to advertise it for you to accept it? You know?
right,
So I think
right.
this is why, a lot of people and they always talk about, be single and enjoy that moment and get to know yourself it is important because you need to be able to advertise your flaws and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a product, eh? And you
Yeah.
have to market yourself, you know. And if it is that like I'm glad that you brought that up. If you see things about the product that you don't like, tweak it,
Change it.
fix it, change it, do something about it so that you are attractive. You're not going to get everything because we don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. Jazz don't have all the answers. But at the end of the day, we understand that in the process that we go through in life, there are things that will be revealed to us. Do I like it? How did it make me feel? Did I feel uncomfortable with that? Did I feel disgusted by that? And if it disgusts you, then think about what it might, make that other
Do
person
something
feel
else.
like. So, just change the stuff about the product when you know for yourself, okay, I, the product, feel confident in who I am now. I can present myself to the world, and to the world meaning for the single persons who are looking for a mate. I am on the market to date, and I am about this life. Hey, I am Bambi. I love this. I love that. Do you love sushi? I want 2 children. You want 2 children because don't you want children? I love dogs. You love dogs? You're a cat person? Nah, I'm not a cat person. Put it out on the table. Don't say, well, when you hear you, the old approach is we getting to know each other. And as you said, Jazz, by the 10th date now, here you know. Well, I don't like cats, and he love cats.
Exactly.
And the only time you recognize it is when you reach home by him. And you're so,
Exactly.
where's all this cats here? and he they're like, yeah, there's and this is him now. Yeah, look, come fluffy. And you just like, fluffy, ew. And then right there is a whole hiccup. No, put your cards out on the table. Leave some things, yes, later on to be mentioned and to be discussed and talked about. But the things that really that you don't appreciate or don't like, or just say, listen, I don't like dogs. I'm an animal person. I love to travel. I only want 1 child. I want to live in a big house. Or I'm a cave person. I like to be, indoors. Say it. That person would say, I appreciate you, just like in your case, Jazz. You appreciated him for doing that, and now your relationship can go forward in a good manner. You understand? In a good manner, and that is the thing. People need to be true to themselves, how they feel, and then you would find now that authenticity happening and portraying with others they come into interaction with.
Yes, and you learn also how they will deal with cheating. So if it is that so if it is that, like for me, if I know how important to him it is to not be betrayed in that type of manner, I now know how to operate in a certain manner to not make him feel betrayed. And yes, they may, and I mean, cheating is not something that we plan to do. And yes, I know it happens spontaneously with some people. It's not, they didn't go out looking to do it or whatever. Shit
Although there are
happens.
some, but we're not dealing with these some. We're not dealing with
Yeah,
these
we're not
some.
dealing with those some. I understand that there are things that may be missing from your life that make that throw you or thrust you into that position. But you know, first we have to try to find ways of minimizing these occurrences from happening in the first place, and getting to know yourself and getting to know your partner in that manner, or letting yourself be known in that way, is one of the ways to start. It's just a start, because we just have to change certain things as we go along in this life in order to kind of reduce these trends from happening.
Yes,
Because
break them.
cheating is a thing that is a demoralizing thing. It is a thing that debilitates a relationship so badly. It cripples a relationship.
Yes,
and
it does.
It is something, it's so hard to come back from. It is so hard because you as a person have to work extremely hard. Like, okay, I'm gonna share a personal story with with one of my relationships in the earlys, very earlys, where I experienced being cheated on. Now at that time, you know, when it happened, the things that he had to do to get back on my good side were very uncomfortable for him and for me. You know, I think in terms of, you know, your location, and I've seen it happen with friends as well. You find that they lie me with their friends, and now you have to video call your person to let them know where you are, let them see your background. I've seen these things happening. That is embarrassing. That is demeaning. It is uncomfortable, and it is unnecessary. But it is necessary now because of what you've caused this person. You know, and if it is that you had started off from the get-go letting them know, hey, when you go away for 6 months, I am going to come with you. If you didn't talk about that before, then this is where, you know, you left the door open. You left the door completely open
for something to happen. Yes, exactly. And that's the thing is, good thing you said that. A lot of us leave doors open and not aware that it is. And then say to ourselves, well, why this happened, or how that happened, and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, you left that door open, you know, and ounce of prevention is better than 100 doses of cure. Exactly, Jamu. You know, you need to, like I say, the approach needs to be different in how we deal with relationships, how we go forward in terms of commitment. Because at the end of the day, I would like to think that we all want that level of commitment where we know that we can build an empire with someone, we can build a life with someone, we can have children, we can grow old. You're getting older, you know, I don't know about nobody, but I appreciate life so much that, you know, when you see and you can look at life in a different angle or perspective, it tends to really change how you do things, and how you react and respond to things. And then in you as a person growing, you tend to check yourself even more.
Hello?
I want to be you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, I want to always be a better version of myself, and each day, you know, I'm at it. I'm working at it, because I may falter today, but tomorrow I'll go in again because I got another opportunity to do it, you know. And I think the approach for relationships, you can save yourself so much heartache, because life in itself will pelt and send all sorts of situations your way. But you see these things that we could get out one time and put on the table one time, let's put it. If that person is meant for you, they will stick around. They would know if they could handle this or not, you know. So don't have the old approach and go into relationship, and then when you realize the man gone for the 6 months and you're like, but what is this? You leaving doorways, you leaving doors open for this to happen. And then you want to know why cheating reach here. You left the door open, and you would not have been aware that was a door open, but you're putting your relationship in problems now, because you know it would have been mentioned from before. Well, hey, if this comes up, so is the case. You're supposed to say how you felt at that point in time, and not about, well, yes,
Exactly.
it's an opportunity, go for it.
Exactly. And you
Because
know that happens
you're,
plenty,
you're,
eh?
stu- because
You know.
you're studying the money. Now, mind you, you're studying the money. You ain't studying how you would have feel in the process, how, it would affect your life in that sense. You're not studying all them things. You're
Uh-huh.
just studying, yeah, boy, go, go. Especially if the ball, you're going Dubai. Dubai! Yes, baby,
Exactly,
you
eh?
go Dubai. And you're gone. You reach Dubai now. But this is you now being neglected. Well, I'm missing you. But you have to, so then you come back and you start to fret. All kind of things. You're putting yourself in problems. Put these things out on
Mm-hmm.
the platform first and save yourself the heartache. So that you know that, listen, if he go Dubai, you go in Dubai too. If if it is that, at least, so that when an opportunity arises and it does not, the conditions of that opportunity doesn't present itself, you all can say, babes, this is not the one, because I can't come on board. So because I
Yeah,
can't come on board, because there are situations where they will allow the family to come, and there are situations that they would not. So you will
yeah.
have to know, and that's important. Will and Jada knew the dynamics of their relationship. It's important that you know the dynamics of your relationship and what works for you. What works for you may not work for me. But because it
Mm-hmm.
works, not because I don't agree with it means that, oh gosh, no. Let people live, let them be. Their business is their business. How they do their things, that is their business. I
Business.
mean, and had this gone the way Jada and Will wanted it to go, John Public would not have known Jack squat.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
understand?
Exactly.
I
And
would
they would have
always say,
still been role models.
thank you. Listen, mind you, they have not lost any credits in my book.
Me too, you know.
Because I see it as, listen, she made a mistake. They know that there was there were problems and mistakes has been made, but the way they go forward with it is what I commend them for. They have a very mature approach to it. They've had the experience, and relationships will go through the fire to be refined in the end. People who don't stay for that to happen will always be in and out of relationships, in and out. You're looking for
Mm-hmm.
a perfect person. I sorry, you can't. You just have to know who is worth going through these fires with. Is this
Exactly.
person worth it? And in their case, he saw that she's worth it, because everybody
Yes.
has things about them that is unattractive, but there are also traits that are beautiful. And he
Mm-hmm.
knows
Mm-hmm.
that, listen, this one thing, it may have been a bad thing in the whole world's eyes, but I know the woman that she is. I know who I have, and the mother that she is, and the role model that she is. So many. I see the things that this person does when the world may not have seen, or
Exactly.
we're behind closed
Exactly.
doors. I see what she is capable of. I know what I have. And because of this, I am willing to go through and go the
And
extra mile.
one sure sign of that is the fact that have you seen all it talks about what her past relationships have been saying about her in terms of like Tupac. He would have
I
written a poem or he wrote something, and then even August when he describes this person. I mean, how we're gonna leave this woman?
exactly.
When August describes how this woman has helped him and the kind of love that she has shown. Now, I understand cheating is horrible. It is horrible, but when you weigh certain things, that, okay,
Yes.
let's say in Will's mind, he would have weighed that she would have understood what has happened, and they would have now come to a point where, hey, this is not going to happen again. And he weighed what he could possibly lose in this woman compared
Yes.
to the fact that she cheated and the fact that he feels the betrayal or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, these are the things that you have to look at, you know.
I mean,
So when and even for Jada, I think for Jada now, experiencing the fact that he is still there,
yes.
you know, you can now see that in old age, because I think a lot of people do not think about old age when they are in marriages. And when it is you think of old age, you think about the person that in the event that anything happens to you physically, let's say you become handicapped, is this person going to take care of you for the rest of your life? Is this person gonna wipe your ass? Is this person gonna feed you? Is this person gonna be there throughout? And when I listen to what Will says, there's nothing that Jada can do for me to leave her. Nothing that she can do for me to leave her, because we are life partners. Mean that they made a decision
They made
to
a commitment.
for the rest of their life,
Yes.
regardless of if she gets sick, if she get ugly, if she get this,
Yes.
if she get that, he will take care. And if
Yes.
he get this, he get that, he get ugly, he get whatever, he lose all his wealth,
Yes.
she is going to take care of him.
Yeah,
And in the end, of things, so many people are dying alone. And so many people are dying sad because they would have given up the chance of exploring this in their partner because of one moment of infidelity. And that's why you have to stress on doing self-awareness stuff to see what you can handle, and also think about what was your contribution to play, because I'm quite sure Will had a part to play in Jada's actions. There's always a part to play, and he would have taken that into consideration and probably said, hey, I didn't play my part. And that's why he probably forgave. And we on the outside here watching, oh, Jada, she thinks she should be stoned.
Yeah.
She should be stoned. But should she be stoned? Are we adjudged to stone somebody? Really?
And that's the thing. Everybody is judge and jury. Everybody. I'd just be like, yo, you perfect. So okay,
exactly.
you're telling me that you will never. And that's one of the things that a lot of people, I'll never do that. I will never. You said I would never. And I'm saying, wow, look at how you could predict the future now. You would never do that, huh? Okay, cool. You know, because I'm telling myself, you must never put yourself in a position where you're so sure that you will never do something. Let it present itself to you, because when life presents its situations to you, you'll never know what you'll do until you're in it. You could never know what you would do until you are in it. When you could bump your gum now. I will never. Like I could say I will never drive them Beetle looking cars. But let somebody come and say the Beetle looking car, the Beetle, right? I can't remember. I don't know what's the name. Not the Mini Coupe babes. The Mini Coupe is the one that looks like the Beetle. The one that looks like the Beetle.
Okay. Yes.
Right. The March. I will never drive a March. I could say that now. But let somebody come and say, Bambi girl, I want to bless you with a March. I'm taking it. So, I mean, we can have opinions on what we would think we would do or to do. But when the situation, if somebody pull up in front of my gate now and say, hey, look, I'll buy a March for you, I go be like, well, me like March, me want no March, take your March. No, I taking it. I go get better after, but the March could carry me places. You understand? Yes. So never put yourself in a position where I will never. You see that word? The fact that you're a human being means that you're entitled, or there's a possibility, a huge possibility that anything could happen with you. Anything. Anything is possible because you're human. You are not God. God could be the one to say, I will never. You understand? But you ain't God. You just have to understand that, okay, this is how I feel now. I feel that within me, I am this person, and I don't think there's a difference in phrasing it than saying I will never. You understand? So watch how you phrase things and say things, because saying I will never do something, I'm pretty sure at one point in time, Will and Jada never thought, like she said it. If somebody had brought her hourglass and say, hey, I'd be like, no, that will never have happened to me. She said it. And then boom, look at how life unfolds now. She's in a position where, yes, I am faced with this now. And what do we do? How do we go forward? And it's important to have someone that is willing to go the extra mile with you, because beauty fades. Outwardness, that beauty, it fades. What really matters is what's inside, you know. And if it is that person is willing, if you lose a leg, if you lose your eye, if whatever part, and you know, or you get burned and half your face gone, you know, are you with the right person that is going to stick at your side for the rest of your life? When you make vows, and for married people, when you make vows, you know, do you actually know what you're doing? Do you know that is an actual commitment that you're committing to this person for the rest of your life? And you
Mm-hmm.
know, even if, like I say, even if, because we can't predict the future, you might say, well, this person is, so nice now and they may not cheat on me. But if they
Right.
cheat on you, what is going to be your total,
Action. Yeah.
are you going to be vengeance and war and, well, listen to me, slice off your throat?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
are you going to try and even if you're mad, even if you're angry, try and see how best you can understand why what was done? Because, like we're saying, there's always something that contributes to the act. We're not talking about the people who is do this for fun. Them, not that, no, not them.
They're
We're
not in
talking
this
about,
conversation.
they're not in this conversation. We are speaking about the people who actually values relationships, but life came and it happened. And because life happens, we find ourselves now in a position where we didn't think we would have been. What
Right.
then? What now? Are you going
Right.
to X them off? Are you going to see the worth in them besides the bad? Because we all do bad things. Are
Yeah.
you going to see the worth in them? How deep are you willing to look or to go with this person to know that, hey, I have somebody good enough. They messed up, yes. I am mad. I'm angry. I am pissed. But I love you. We will go through our processes because, as you were rightfully saying, Jazz, there's a process to go through. This thing takes some time, and for the person who cheated, allow the person that you cheated on to, take to get their feelings out
Get
there.
to the exactly.
Let
Exactly.
them get their feelings out there. And the person, that has been cheated on, don't don't be throwing anything in their face all the time. They know they
Mm-hmm.
wrong you.
Mm-hmm.
They know they have done that. They ask for your forgiveness. Forgive them and try and move forward. Moving forward is how y'all are going to better yourselves, strengthen your relationship, and just overall be healthy for one another again. If you know you can't deal with it and you feel like you will be some type of way, then end the relationship. It doesn't make
Yeah.
any
Mm-hmm.
sense. It don't make
Mm-hmm.
sense. You're just spinning up in mud and you're making no sense. So I
Mm-hmm.
really hope that people were able to understand that um we are not pro cheating. However, there are good things that can come from it if it has happened to you. Your partner is going to be more aware. They will be more willing to do things for you. Communication is going to even be better now. you
Definitely.
know
Definitely.
things things can contribute into a positive way and turn around for good.
Right.
Not everybody that's been cheated on is doomsday, done
Mm-hmm.
to. Not, no, there are people I know of, people personally, that their relationships, married or not married, and they're still together because they decide that I love you and I'm willing to
Mm-hmm.
work it out. So Jada and Will, they love each other. Jump high, jump low, they love each other. They're like partners and they decided to stick it out. Knowing the dynamics of the relationship is important. And I think that people should know, that going forward with their relationship as well.
Yeah. And I think they, give them a break because I mean to have that type of unconditional love, because it may not be the romantic love full of passion and jumping on each other when they see each other. But to me, that is a type of unconditional love that is very rare. To
It's a
go
genuine
through,
love, yeah.
yeah, to go through certain things like that and still be able to stick with them and say, you know what, we may not romantically feel strongly towards each other in this manner, but I love you enough to want to be there for you regardless of what happens, you know? And I think that is something that if more people work on trying to build, most or a lot of the issues that we face in this world when it comes to relationship can be fixed. It can be rectified. It can change. It can, you
Yeah.
can see some positivity coming out from a lot of bad situations because people, as you say, are very quick to throw their hands in the air. People are
Yeah.
very quick to move on and not fix anything. You know,
Yeah.
we're not fixers. We are
Yeah.
reactors. And a Jamu said prevention is better than cure. And
Yes.
doing things to prevent, which means you continuously doing your self evaluation is a form of prevention, a form of proactiveness. You
Yes.
know, so
Yes.
those are things that you need to keep doing and keep working on yourself so you can build your self-esteem and your confidence. Because your partner is always attracted to your confidence. Trust me, that will keep your attraction. Eh?
Indeed.
Yeah, and so as Bambi would have said, it's not that we approach cheating. Cheating is something that actually it really hurts the person that does it, you know.
It does.
But in the event that it does happen, let's not crucify each other for it.
Please.
And for persons who would have seen it happening to their friends, be better friends, be better family members, and try to figure out how to guide that person as compared to just being like, leave him, or leave shit, or whatever, you know.
And that's the first thing they always say, leave them.
Yes, you know, figure out how to be better guiders or to be, and I think that's when that's where the saying of let us be our brother's keeper or sister's keeper comes from. Don't really want to just always be like helping them make bad decisions. Help them to help them to see. Help them to open their eyes. Help them to say, you know, instead of, because I know Bambi would definitely, I could put my head on a block. If I doing crap, Bambi would be like, Junisa, will you do some kind of crap there? You know, and this is why I appreciate this relationship, because of the fact that it's not a matter of always being my girl and having my back and saying, you know, you will always jump on my side. It's a matter of when I do crap, you call me out and be like, but Jen, he did this because you did that. If you didn't do that, he wouldn't do this. You know, and I'm like, fine, I will fix it. You know, we all need that type of relationship, and these are the type of friendships that we need to be able to develop.
Definitely.
And these are the type of relations, family ties that we need to develop with people.
Definitely.
And change the way we act in relationships, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, relationships are the most important thing in the world. We might say money, we might say happiness, but when you think about it, relationships
we need people.
Are the most important things, and this is why it is so hard. Because it is the most important thing. It is so hard because it's so important.
Yes.
And we're feeling at it. We are feeling tremendously at it. And I don't want to fail at it. I don't want to fail at none. All my friendships are trying to sit down and just be like, hey, let me fix this, let me fix that, let me do this, let me change this. Let me see how we can work.
Jazz, honey, you are a tremendous friend. You and I would have had our let's say disagreements, but the way you handle it, our relationship, I love it. I absolutely love it, because you see, people is want you to be real with them, you know. I want you to be real with me, but when it's time to be real with them, then they feel I don't talk to you. I done that. Me personally, I am. Well, you know me. I straightforward like that. I will tell you. I calling you out. Yo. So you know, and ting. So, now I must admit, long ago my approach to how I would have tell people this would have come out real bad. Now, oh gosh, you can talk to me now. I will come to you and I will phrase it differently, because I know.
You used to taught me for. Listen,
Hannah, thank God for growth. Thank God for maturity. Thank God for experience and change, because God knows, you know. And I must say that I appreciate your friendship. And going forward, I know that we would have, you know, many more years added on to this, because we are going about it in the right manner. I must say, how you handle things, you as an individual, how you handle it, well, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. But yes, and that takes maturity, which everybody needs to, you know, try to express when they're dealing with people. Maturity. You know, I definitely hope that this scenario, I love the fact that this happened, and I love the fact that it happened to who it happened to, because I mean, one, they're strong enough to deal with it, so I don't mind it happening to them. but also I love the fact that it happened, so it allowed us to be able to talk about it in this manner.
Yes, yes,
And it is something that people should be talking about amongst themselves as well, you know.
definitely,
This is how we
definitely.
should fix and change things and whatever the case may be. And
Yes,
yeah, for sure.
yes.
You know?
Listen, the journey to success is a hard one. Any successful person will tell you you must put in work. And just as you must put in work for to be successful and be successful in, money wise, house wise, or whatever, yes, your goals in that sense, it requires the same efforts in a relationship. You want to have a successful relationship, you need to put in the work. When you want to become successful financially and life hits you these bumps and you say, "Well, boy, the business flop," guess what? You take yourself back up, you go
Mm-hmm.
again, you push, and you keep at it. You have to have that same mentality towards your relationship as well.
Yeah.
Relationship, not just romantic relationships, but relationships on the whole.
Yes.
You
Mm-hmm.
have that approach to it, guess what? You're going to be successful all around, but it starts with you. Happiness,
Mm-hmm.
you want happiness? That starts with you. Not saying no that you will not get happiness with your partner, because your partner is supposed to bring some level of happiness to you. But the happiness that you really want
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could give you that. You have to bring that joy to you. Yes, you will be joyous and happy with whoever, because they would have some level of role to play where that is concerned. But true happiness, it starts with you. And if you're not happy with you, you can't be happy with nobody. So,
Yeah,
right.
and what one last thing that I would like to add with respect to, how I have matured to this level in terms of dealing with relationship conflicts
Mm-hmm.
and just dealing with relationships on the whole, and actually practicing what I preach when it comes to trying over and over, because I'm telling you, I was a throw hands in the air kind of girl. I was. I
Yeah.
really, really, really was. If it is things not going my way and I realize that you ain't getting it, and whatever the case may be, whatever,
That's
hand in
it.
the air, I'm done. But as you say, if you want to be successful again, and Aliyah said, if you don't succeed, try and try again.
Try again.
That is something that I do now, and I would say my reason for that is my spiritual growth. I mean, everyone is not um probably
On a
looking for
part
the same thing,
of
you know,
spirituality.
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying what works for me, and
Yes.
anyone who wants to use what works for me on them, they can do it. And so that's why I'm
Yes.
saying it. I'm giving them the opportunity to try something new, and my spiritual growth is something that has definitely helped me, has helped me mature in that manner, because I realize, as you would have said just now, where the Lord, um, we would be doing things that continuously disappoints the Lord, and He just continues putting our things into the sea of forgetfulness,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Mm-hmm.
expect that to happen for us, and we don't do it.
We don't
So
do
it's
it.
something that
Yeah.
I continuously try to work on. I mean, I try my best when people bug me and do stuff or whatever,
Yeah.
put in the sea of forgetfulness, not in the sea of forgiveness, in the sea of forgetfulness, because
Exactly.
that is the thing that would help you move on. Because if it is you forgive but you forget, you forgive but you
But
ain't forget.
you don't want to forget.
That is where when something happens and you bring it back up and you be like, but you
Yes.
remember when you said
But
this, and you remember,
exactly,
because you're still in
exactly.
the sea of forgetfulness, even though I
Yeah.
forgave you. So it's something
Yeah.
that I'm working on, and it
Yeah.
has been bringing a lot of happiness to myself. It has been
Yes.
bringing happiness to my relationships. And
Yeah.
I mean, for anyone who wants to work on their spiritual development, I would always say that is the way to go. And
Yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah.
Whatever works for
Yeah.
you, do your thing.
Exactly, exactly. It's all about that growth. And don't I mean, at the end of the day, we didn't get it overnight. I've had many times where I would have gone through this over and 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 over, over and over and over and over and over again, until I got it.
They
Okay,
got it.
hey, this is how I can handle it now. So I mean, we could speak from a place of healing, because we have been healed from a lot of things, that has probably we faced in life, and because one person would have said, you know, how am I always so positive, or how am I, you know, able to look, but you didn't see the time when I was negative. You didn't see that
Exactly.
time when I
Yes.
curse black everybody, the dog get it, the tree get it, if the window too hard it get it too. You didn't see that part. You understand? Jazz, you would have known. You would have known, you know?
You
But
remember the time you called me and be like, listen, I don't want to give you what something was going on with you. And it's like, listen, I don't even going to call you because I don't want you to get what I have going on right now.
yeah, and
I'm
listen,
like, all right.
listen, and I must say thank you for, you know, allowing me to vent, because sometimes that's
Of
all people
course.
need, to vent, you know. But people understand that, you know, we have come from a long from a long way. You know, there are things that we have faced in life, or we have seen, even if we have not physically faced it ourselves. People around us, close to us, have
Mm-hmm.
been. And because of that, you know, sometimes you carry the burdens of others, right? You know, you tend to carry depending on how
Mm-hmm.
close you are with that
Mm-hmm.
person. And, you know, that's why I'm so passionate about relationships and having it work in that sense. And it's just about self awareness. Keep checking yourself. You may think that you are not contributing to why your partner reacting or getting on how they're getting on, but
Right.
little that you know, you left the door open, or you're settling for some stuff, or you're just well, and you have a well attitude. Well, let's come with water, right? And plenty water. So you're drowning
What?
your whole self.
What an analogy.
Hey, so you know, it's just you know, continue. You can be where we are at, because I've heard old people tell me that where you are, I once was, and where I am, you
It's
will
true.
be.
Yes, yes, yes,
So you know,
yes. You need to
it's just a
remember.
process. It's a process.
Yes.
Yes. So let's
So,
do this.
in conclusion, I just want to remind everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining that we didn't acknowledge as you came on. Busy Fingers, Boral, Shuma, um, Ricardo, um, Joanne. Thank you for your comments. Elias,
Yes.
Crystal, Joshua. Thank you all for joining so much, and we hope that you really did enjoy what we had to say with regards
Abby and
to
Lynn.
um, analyzing cheating.
Yeah.
That came off of what is currently happening in the industry, the Hollywood industry, and so we want to thank you, and we hope that you can join us again on Wednesday for our Q&A Wednesday, where we usually do an activity to kind
Yeah.
of reinforce what was said on the Sunday, which is
Sunday.
today.
Today.
So we'd find a fun type of way to kind of drive the idea in. So, we really would appreciate if everyone joins us, share the video, like, and check out our YouTube page where we would have had our season 1 videos.
Yes.
We are now in season 2. So
Woohoo!
check out our season 1 videos on YouTube. Girl Talk with Jazz and Bambi. And we're also on Instagram. So if it is that you'll have any question, any burning issues that arise from this topic, please send us your questions, your comments, your statements to at Jazz Talks Too Much or at Bambi Talks Too Much on Instagram. Follow our pages. We also, you can follow us on Facebook, which is
On
at
Facebook.
GTWJB,
JB.
or even you can follow my page, which is Girl Talk Jazz
Jazz
Bambi,
Bambi.
where I'm talking to you from. Just talk to us and get interactive. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. Let
How you
us
felt,
know
yes.
if your scenario is similar and you want some type of to vent.
Yeah,
You want to talk about it.
We're here for the
Share your
venting.
questions. we do address some of these questions anonymously on the Wednesdays.
Q&A,
So
yep.
you can share what you want to share, and we hope that you enjoy what we had to say.
Yes, I hope so too. Looking forward to Q&A Wednesdays. This is our first time on Facebook Live, so I hope that we will see how it goes.
Yes,
Because we are
yes, yes.
always on Instagram. So thank you guys for joining. This is the Girl Talk Show with Jazz and Bambi, and I had fun today. I hope somebody really what we had to say really changed or impacted you in a different manner and a different way, and now you're having a different approach to how you do things going forward with your
Yeah.
life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, like I always say, I mean, y'all may not know what I always say because I usually say it on Instagram, but but like I always say, live the life that you love and love that the life that you live. Don't even start, Bambi. Don't start. Don't start.
Oh my God. And like I always say, train your mind to see the good in everything. Positivity at the end of the day is a choice. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
You have that stuck on your phone. You have
No,
that stuck on
I'm
you.
saying, listen, this is season 2. And you're shorter, eh? Sorry.
I know, right? I know, I know. Anyway, whatever. So, guys, we'll see you all on Wednesday and then
Yes.
following that up on Sunday. Love you so much. I'm Jazz.
And I'm Bambi.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah.